Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I made a video on Dodge Promaster and using it for camping, but here is a bed that I came up with. It is only attached to the van by 2 bolts, one here, one way up there on this frame and 2 bolts on that frame. Then I have a platform bed that I made out of a fairly thick sheet of plywood. It's just slightly less than 3/4 inch, and then this is a 2x4 on edge. Then I have it held up by, or held in place by straps to the tie downs and kept from sliding off the back by a little block. And I'm going to go around the other side. There's a little block right here. The way this is constructed is there are 2 2x4s coming down to the floor. The bottom one, because of that slant over there, had to be cut at a 45-degree angle. Only the inside one's really on the ground. Up here I tried to span the entire length with just a 2x4, but it flexed too much, so I had to put another 2x4 underneath it vertically. So I have a 2x4 in back, a 2x4 in front, a 2x4 underneath a little platform. This whole thing sits on, I can't even lift it because the bungee cords are pretty tight. This bed just sits on there. In order to prevent the crack, this is 2 panels here. 1 panel and 1 panel back there, so it should be easy to remove. They're 2.5 feet wide and 6 feet across. And I'll show you what I did over here. This is the center of the bed, and I guess I'm gonna have to take these down to show you. But because there is some flex to this, a little bit when you get on it, I took and put this 2x4 that's under this piece, extends out 1 inch. And then the 2x3 on the other side is indented by 1 inch. So when you slide them together, one is on top of the other, and they can't have one go lower than the other and pinch you. So you can take these out by lifting one side up, pulling it up. You gotta lift it way up to here and pull the other side off. It's pretty damn heavy. I'm a little disappointed with that. I wish it was a little easier for one person to do. Stupid pieces of foam that we put in here didn't work out that well. But if I slide this together and drop it in, and then secure it with the bungee cords, I am a little concerned about what would happen in an accident because it is only attached to the car here and over there. This is an M8, 3-inch long, so I had to countersink it because it had to go through all this. M8 1.25 thread bolt that went into something that looked like that right there. A little round hole, but it's quite sturdy. It doesn't move whatsoever. I think we're gonna get a 4-inch mattress pad of some sort. This is 5 feet wide by 6 feet across, and temporarily I guess we can sleep on our camping mats, and there's actually room to fit 3 camping mats across. I would like to build a bench underneath here for storage and as a step up, and also I'm going to be working on a bike rack for underneath. Stay tuned for the bench and the bike rack. Those will be coming out pretty shortly in new videos. By the way, I built this bed about 3 different times before coming up with the final design. And one of the issues I had was figuring out what to use for the platform for the bed. And I actually tried this card table here, and it worked out quite well. It was very light, very easy to maneuver into place, lighter than the plywood stuff I came up with. But it did flex a little bit more than I would like, and the legs would fall down, but obviously you could remove the legs. But the surface was also quite slippery, so we ended up not using that. However, I could still go back to that. Another thing we tried was this metal angle iron stuff, or I think it's steel, but it had a bunch of holes in it for screwing into. And there were 2 problems with it. We had some sag in the middle, where the one you were sitting on would be much lower than the one that you weren't sitting on, and then when I jumped off of it, the metal bent. So you can see that where it bent. We did try to bend it back to return it to Home Depot. So the final bed we came up with was just a 2x4 laying on, not on edge, but flat down, and screwed and glued it together.
This camera's heavy, Brad. Watch your feetsies, because there's all sorts of shit on the floor.
We have a scientific.
I think you guys need to be a little safer with the stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
I am OSHA.
Here,
I need to say there's
Oh,
too
see,
much
Berkey's
stuff on the
got that.
floor. Make sure your area is safe. Here comes the foam man.
That.
Mr. Herder, this camera's pretty heavy. Hey, I lifted weights today. This camera's pretty heavy. I feel a little drippies. Shoulders are killing me. Watch your feet. You're all on the unsafe things. OSHA is going to... Don't step back. OSHA. I'd be careful, Mr. Herder.
You got a sag.
I got a sag?
Yeah.
No, you know what? I have a big sag.